today I want to talk about what happens after your student receives a scholarship and the importance of their participation in these aspects. If you're new here, my name is Shannon. I've worked in colleges for over 12 years, focusing on residence life, so the dorms, and scholarships within financial aid, as well as working behind the scenes with donors to create scholarships for students. Today, we're really channeling a lot of the information that I learned in my time working with donors who created scholarships. Now, there is a whole wide system that happens after your student receives a scholarship, and I really want to implore you that you encourage your student to participate in these aspects of the process whenever they receive a scholarship. So let's dive in and break down these things. So the first big one is thank you letters. Now, every college and university has its own process of how they collect thank you letters from students. And in my previous role, I actually had the amazing opportunity to work with students to collect their thank you letter and to collect a photo of them to be able to then format those into our nice little template and provide those out to the donors and departments that fund scholarships for our students at that college. Now, I cannot tell you how much this meant to all of our donors and all the departments that funded these scholarships. If you want to think about when you are donating thousands of dollars to support someone's education journey, getting a thank you letter from them means the world. Now, in these thank you letters, every school has their own requirements, but I always recommend your student talks about, who they are, where they're from, what they're majoring in school, what they want to do with their future career, and why. Why did they decide to become a teacher? Why did they decide to become pre-vet? Why did they decide to become a lawyer or to study history? Giving those little details really helps a donor connect with your student. And if your student's willing to share, some information about their favorite classes, the clubs they've joined, things they've enjoyed about campus, it just creates a big connection with the individuals who are funding that scholarship. And I can tell you from working behind the scenes that getting those thank you letters typically gets donors to donate more and more often because they are seeing all of their financial contribution provide an amazing experience for your student and provide them the opportunity to chase their dreams, to get their major, to go on to that amazing career. Having a photo, having a letter from them makes all the difference. Every school is going to provide your student with the details of what should be included in that letter. But in this day and age, it is so easy for your student, to Google how to write a thank you letter, to utilize AI a little bit for a thank you letter, but make it personal. I'm not going to say, write one paragraph that just says, thank you so much. Try to write 3 paragraphs about how they're thankful, what they're using the funding for, about their major, about their future career and interests, anything they're willing to provide for these donors to make them feel like their donation is making such an amazing impact is really going to help them be providing those funds in the future. And sometimes scholarships are generational. And what I mean by that is we will have scholarships at colleges where the grandparents started it, and then they start receiving these thank you letters, and they love it, and they feel the connection of the good they're doing. And when they pass on, their children keep the scholarship going, and then their children keep the scholarship going. It makes such a difference in the longevity of these scholarships and the continued funding by getting a thank you from their recipients. So I really implore you to harp on your student a bit, make sure that they are doing the thank you letter, make sure they're making it detailed, they're editing it, they're providing detail. A photo might feel a little weird sometimes to be submitting, but honestly, it's just nice for donors to have a name to the face of the individual. It does not have to be an amazing headshot. I have seen students use, even students in current college, their senior high school photos, they took special photos for those. Sometimes it's a selfie, sometimes it's just a photo someone's taking of them around campus. Anything that gets a name to the face makes that letter a little extra special. So if your student does have the opportunity to provide a thank you letter, please have them do so. It makes such a big impact on the donors and seeing all of their financing going to those students, as well as the longevity of these scholarships. Now, the next thing that may happen is your student may be invited to attend a scholarship reception. Now, scholarship receptions are super fun. They can be a time where it's done by a specific college. So if your student's college is College of Ag, that's where their major is, or it's College of Behavioral and Social Sciences and their majors within that. It could be done by the college. It could be a university-wide one that celebrates all scholarships or just celebrates scholarships that are not tied to a specific major. These events are where all the student recipients are invited, oftentimes faculty and staff are invited, and then the donors of the scholarships are invited. Now, it could be anything from a more formal dinner to a hangout to where there's going to be a semi-formal program with a few speakers, whether that's student speakers or donor speakers. It's really important to attend these events as once again, it's an easy way for your student to say thank you to the donors that provided their scholarship. Even if the donors are no longer living, that is a situation that happens where individuals leave money in their will to the college to create a scholarship. It is showing the appreciation through your student to attend the event. And I'll be honest, at these events, there's always free food. There's free snacks, there's free dinner, sometimes it's a breakfast. Go enjoy the free food, mingle with your fellow students, mingle with some of the donors who are there, or the faculty and staff. It's showing that appreciation. By taking 2 hours of your student's life to go to the events, it's showing the college, all the faculty and staff that worked on getting these scholarships awarded, getting these scholarships created, all of the donors who provided funding. It's showing your student cares. It's showing they are grateful for the funding, but it also reinforces for faculty and staff why we do what we do. And for donors as well, why they do what they do with donating funding to these scholarships. It's so nice to be able to see the students. And I'm not saying that your student needs to have full-on hour-long conversations with the donors, but just by them attending shows that student appreciation. And in this day and age, appreciation goes so far. So if your student is invited to any of these receptions, please implore them to attend. Sometimes, depending on the college, they're able to have the students invite guests, so to bring a friend or to bring family. It just depends on the college and the financial situation of the funding they have for the event. But they're really fun. It's great to be recognized. I've seen at some colleges where they call up every single scholarship recipient to get a certificate and highlight them a little bit, which is awesome. I've seen it done on grander scales where we're not able to call up every single recipient, but we have a slideshow playing with everyone's photo and their name and major. There can be highlights in a program of them. It's just an amazing night where as a student, you get to be recognized for your hard work and you're applying to the scholarship and everything you're doing in college. And as a faculty staff member, all the work you did to make sure these students got awarded their scholarships. And for the donors to know that you're making a big impact. So if your student's invited to one of these receptions, please recommend to them to come to it. Now, the final thing that may happen is your student may be offered to attend a smaller and more intimate event with their scholarship donor. Now, this does not happen as often, but here's the scenarios I've seen it happen in. I've seen it happen when an individual or a donor family provides a very large scholarship for many students. So at some institutions, it's like a presidential scholarship where they provide 4 or 5 scholarships per year, and every year more students are entering into that scholarship recipient list. And every year, all of those recipients come back and have a breakfast with the donors. So they can catch up with them. They can tell them, I received the scholarship as a freshman and now I'm a junior and I'm getting ready to apply to grad school. It's a nice way for donors who provide large scholarships that really make a massive impact on many individuals, the opportunity to see all the students that they are supporting at a more intimate event. Sometimes it's breakfast, lunch, sometimes it's coffee. There will always be staff from campus there who help manage the event and manage those interactions between the donors and the students. So it's a great time for your student to get to know the donor to get to know them. And oftentimes it's a great opportunity for your student to get to know somebody in the industry of where they want to go and work in. So for example, one of the previous institutions I worked at has a massive scholarship for students in ag. Every single year, 4 new students are brought into it, and it's a 4-year scholarship. So the students get it for all 4 years, but every year, 4 more students are being added in. and they do a huge ceremony. The students get jackets and pins, and they get to meet the donor, who are influential people in these students' future career field. And so sometimes it's even an opportunity to get to know more about the career field, get connections to different people in the industry. That mentor relationship can happen. It's really a fun time to celebrate your students' accomplishments and let the donors see everything the students accomplished. I have seen it where staff have even coordinated a coffee hangout between a donor and one or two students, where the staff member, they stay there the whole time to be that buffer, but for the donor to just get to chat with the student for an hour, have a coffee with them or a drink with them, and get to just chat about what they want to do. This is also that opportunity again for mentorship for someone who's probably in their career field, or can set them up with individuals in their career field, which could lead and has led in many instances that I've seen to interviews for jobs, to interviews for internships, to getting more information or mentoring for someone who's already been there and done that and has done so successfully because now they're donating. It's a great time for your student to get those resources. Yes, it can feel socially awkward going on their own, but there's always gonna be staff there who's gonna help be that middle person, and it really is an opportunity for your student to take advantage of. Really think about that. Your student is getting an opportunity for maybe a one-on-one or small group setting mentorship for someone who has made it in their major, has made it in their career, and is doing so well successfully that they're donating. Your student can learn from them, get tips and tricks, get introduced to other people who could potentially help them get internships or jobs. It is a great mentorship opportunity for your student that could open many doors by simply going to coffee with them. So if that opportunity arises, I implore your student to take it. Alrighty, y'all, so those are the 3 main donor-centered events that may happen once your student receives a scholarship. No matter what your student is asked or invited to do, I recommend they jump on it and take advantage of the situation. They're able to show their appreciation for their donors who are funding their scholarship. They are able to be celebrated for all of their amazing accomplishments and potentially have mentorship opportunities or potential for internships or job opportunities. It's great to be saying thank you. It's great to have even more doors and opportunities open for your student. If you'd like more information about thank you letters or attending these kind of events, please let me know down in the comments below, and I'll make future videos on how to help your student write an amazing thank you letter or tips and tricks for attending these kind of events. If you like this video overall, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I post new videos on YouTube every Monday and Friday. My Monday videos are all centered around my experience working at different colleges. So talking about scholarships, talking about dorm life, RAs, getting on-campus jobs. All the information I've learned throughout 12 years of my career, I'm sharing with you to help support your student. My Friday videos are more personal, my personal life raising 2 little kids. My boys are 2 and 7, and all the parenting tips and tricks are products that have worked for us, as well as cleaning, decorating, and motivation vlogs. It's all there on my Friday videos. If you like short format content, I post daily to YouTube Shorts, Instagram, and TikTok. You'll see my handles here on the screen, and they'll be down in the description below. I hope you all are having a wonderful day and staying healthy. I'll see you soon.